Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Marisma Salina, NIM 2021B044 from the Public Health Study Program. Here, I will present the factor related to the incident hypertension in pregnant mother. What is hypertension? Hypertension is blood pressure above the normal limit of 120 or 80 millimeter mercury. Hypertension is included in the global problem that hit the world according to World Health Organization that in 2012 the number of cases of hypertension was 839 million cases. I think I've covered the point, so now I want to speak about introduction. The result of the 2012 Indonesian Demographic and Health Survey that during 2007 up to 2012, maternal mortality case increased. This is due to the occurrence of high-risk pregnant women with high risk, one of which is exposed to hypertension in pregnancy. The Ministry of Health explained that hypertension is a dangerous risk, especially if it occurs in women who are pregnant. This can cause death for the mother and for the baby to be born because there are no symptoms or typical signs as an early warning. Hypertension in pregnancy, also known as preeclampsia, accounts for 12% of maternal deaths worldwide. The Ministry of Health in 2013 that the hypertension increased mortality and morbidity in pregnant women. And hypertension in pregnancy is blood pressure reaching 140 or 90 millimeter mercury or more that occurs during pregnancy. Hypertension in pregnancy can cause maternal morbidity or pain, including eclampsia, cerebral hemorrhage, pulmonary edema, or fog in the throat. Fog in the lungs, acute kidney failure, and blood clots or coagulation in the birth phase, as well as fetal morbidity, including stern fetal birth. In the womb, death of the fetus in the womb, absorption of the placenta or placenta teaching from the breast of attachment in the uterus and premature birth. And next, the research aims to determine the relationship between age, education, birthday, exposure, the cigarette smoke, history of diabetes mellitus, history of hypertension, and physical activity and pregnant stress on the incidence of hypertension in pregnant women. Based on the result of research by CRI 2012, it is known that hypertension in pregnant women is the main cause of maternal or fetal death in the womb. The brain state of hypertension in pregnancy often occurs in rural areas, namely 15%. I think I've covered that point, so now I want to speak about conceptual framework. Research on the motivated theory convert from McCarthy and mind and mostly theory in 1922 years. This first theory explained the conceptual determinant which include the first status of women in the family and society. For example, education, women's empowerment. The second is family status and sociality. For example, income, ownership, education, and occupation of family member. The last, community status. For example, the welfare of living research. The second theory about the determinant between include health, the first health status. For example, nutrient, infection, disease history, history of example of export to cigarette smoke, stress of pigs. The second is productive status. For example, age, parity, marital status. The third is access to health service care. For example, the location of health service at the public health center, service covered service quality, and the rest is healthy behavior. For example, the use of family planning antenatal check birth attendant. From this theory, there are one or expected factor. This study is usually carried out on hypertension in pregnant which can result in breathing and infection, complication, and more severe and lead to death or disability. I think I've covered that point, so now I want to speak about variable and operational definition. Number one, hypothesis nihil. The hypothesis states there is no relationship or influence between variables with other variables. Number two, our alternative hypothesis. Hypothesis with status that there is a relationship or fun influence between variable and other variable. I think I have covered that point, so now I want to speak about research methodology, place, and time. The typical of research is observational analytic with a cross-sectional design, which is a study to study the dynamic of the relation between these factors and affect by observing or collection that all at once point time approach. This study was con- conducted to explain the factors related to the incidence of hypertension in pregnant women in the work area at the public health center, which was carried out for approximately 1 month. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.